Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, devotees. Please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Welcome to this morning's Srimad Bhagavatam class. It's from Canto 3, which is entitled The Status Quo. Chapter 1, questions by Vidura. And this morning we're doing the very last text or verse 45. We're also very, very fortunate to have His Grace Jiva Tattva Prabhu from ISKCON DC to give a class. Hare Krishna Prabhu, please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to the Prabhupada. I'm already excited.
Hare Krishna Prabhu.
Hare
We are also very excited. Again, please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada, Guru and Gauranga. All glories to the assembled devotees.
Hare Krishna. It's all yours. Please start.
Hare Krishna. So, my dear devotees, please join us for the invocation prayers. Oh, yes. Please join us for Jai Radha Madhav prayers.
Jai Radha.
Yes.
Wonderful. Hare Krishna.
Jai Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari. Jai Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari. Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivardhari. Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivardhari. Yashodanandana Brajjana Ranjana. Yashodanandana Brajjana Ranjana. Janatira Vanachari. Janatira Vanachari. Jai Radha Madhava Jabihari. Jai Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare
Krishna, Hare Krishna,
Krishna
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Hare, Hare Rama, Rama
Rama,
Hare Hare,
Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare
Krishna,
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare
Hare Rama.
Ram Ram Hare Hare Jai Radha Madan Mohan Radha Madan Mohan Radha Madan Mohan Shri Radhe Jai Radha Madan Mohan Radha Madan Mohan Radha Madan Mohan Shri Radhe Jai Radha Govinda Radha Govinda Radha Govinda Shri Radhe Jaya Radha Govinda Radha Govinda Radha Govinda Shri Radhe Jaya Radha Gopinath Radha Gopinath Radha Gopinath Shri Radhe Jaya Radha Gopinath Radha Gopinath Radha Gopinath Shri Radhe Jai Radha Bhakti Bihari Radha Bhakti Bihari Radha Bhakti Bihari Shri Radhe Jai Radha Bhakti Bihari Radha Bhakti Bihari Radha Bhakti Bihari Shri Radhe Jai Jai Prabhupada 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 Jai Jai Prabhupada Jai Jai Gurudev 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 Jai Jai Gurudev Nitya Gaur Hari Bol Hari Bol Hari Bol Nitya Gaur Hari Bol जय ओम विष्णुपाद परिवराज शोध शीश में शिला ऐसी भक्ति वेदांत स्वामी शिला प्रभुपाद की जय जय ओम विष्णुपाद परिवराज शोध शीश्रीमद शिला भक्ति सिद्धांत सरस्वती गोस्वामी महाराज प्रभुपाद की जय नामाचार्य शिला हरिदास ठाकुर की जय प्रेम से कहो जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद की जय श्री श्री राधा कृष्ण गोप गोपी गोश्याम कुंद राधा कुंड गिरि गोवर्धन की जय अयोध्या धाम वृंदावन धाम की जय नवद्वीप मायापुर धाम की जय जगन्नाथपुरी धाम की जय गंगा मैया यमुना मई की जय भक्ति देवी तुलसी महारानी की जय अनंत कोटि वैष्णवविंद की जय सवेद भक्तविंद की जय श्री श्री वैष्णवाचार्य विंद की जय श्री श्री राधा श्याम सुंदर की जय श्री श्री राधा दामोदर की जय श्री श्री जगन्नाथ सुभद्रा बलदेव की जय श्री श्री गौताई की जय डिस्ट्रीब्यूशन की जय संकीर्तन महायज्ञ की जय गंतराज श्रीमद् भागवतम की जय निताय गो प्रेमानंदे हरि All glories to assembled devotees, all glories to assembled devotees, all glories to assembled devotees, all glories to Shri Shri Guru and Gauranga, all glories to Srila Prabhupada. Hare Krishna, dear devotees. Please join us for the invocation prayers for Srimad Bhagavatam. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Hare Krishna, dear devotees.
Hare.
So let's continue with the invocation prayers. Narayanam Namaskritya
Nayanam Namaskritya
Naram Chaiva Narottamam
Naram Chaiva Narottamam
Devim Saraswatim Vyasam
Devim Saraswati Vyasam
Tato Jayam Udiryet
Tato Jayam Udirayet
Shravtam Swakatha Krishna
Swakatam Swakatha Krishna
Punya Shavana Kirtanaha
Punya Shravana Kirtanaha
Hridayantasto Hya Bhadrani
Yanta Stohya Madani
Vidunoti Suhasatam
Vidunoti Sahitsatam
Nashta Prayesha Bhadreshu
Nashta Prayeswa Bhadeshu
Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya
Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya
Bhagavatir Uttam Shloke
Bhagavati Uttam Shloke
Bhaktir Bhavati Nashtiki.
Bhaktir Bhavati Naistiki.
Hare Krishna. Dear devotees,
Yeah.
please join us in the recitation of the verse in call and response manner. This is my first time, so I realized that there's a call and response that goes on in this session. Thank you, Parikshit Prabhu. And once again, thank you for giving me this opportunity. You're such a senior Vaishnava and allowing such a, simple person as me to give an opportunity to speak on this forum. Hare Krishna. So, my dear devotees, please join us for the recitation of this verse from 3rd canto, 1st chapter, verse 45th. It is the last verse of the chapter. Today is the last day of Purushottam Mas. So it's very auspicious. Hare Krishna. Tasya prapannākhila-lokapānām
Tasya prapannākhila-lokapānām
avasthitānām anuśāsane sve
avasthitānām anuśāsane sve
arthāya jātasya yaduṣv
yatasya yaduṣv
vārtāṁ sakhe kīrtaya tīrtha-kīrteḥ
vārtāṁ sakhe kīrtaya tīrtha-kīrteḥ
tasya prapannākhila-lokapānām
tasya prapannākhila-lokapānām
avasthitānām anuśāsane sve
avasthitānām unalloyed
arthāya jātasya yaduṣv
arthāya tasya yaduṣv
vārtāṁ sakhe kīrtaya tīrtha-kīrteḥ
vārtāṁ sakhe kīrtaya tīrtha-kīrteḥ
tasya prapannākhila-lokapānām
tasya prapannākhila-lokapānām
avasthitānām anuśāsane sve
avasthitānām unalloyed
arthāya jātasya yaduṣv
arthāya jātasya yaduṣv
vārtāṁ sakhe kīrtaya tīrtha-kīrteḥ
vārtāṁ sakhe kīrtaya tīrtha-kīrteḥ. So,
anyone would like to recite? Yes.
Tasya prapannākhila-lokapānām
Tasya prapannākhila-lokapānām
avasthitānām anuśāsane sve arthāya jātasya yaduṣv vārtāṁ sakhe kīrtaya tīrtha-kīrteḥ. Hare Krishna.
tasya prapannākhila-lokapānām avasthitānām anuśāsane sve arthāya jātasya yaduṣv vārtāṁ sakhe kīrtaya tīrtha-kīrteḥ. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Tasya prapannākhila-lokapānām avasthitānām anuśāsane sve arthāya jātasya yaduṣv vārtāṁ sakhe kīrtaya tīrtha-kīrteḥ. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Tasya prapannākhila-lokapānām avasthitānām anuśāsane sve arthāya jātasya yaduṣv vārtāṁ sakhe kīrtaya tīrtha-kīrteḥ. Hare
Hare
Hare Krishna. So let's move to synonyms, word for word translation. Tasya, his prapanna, surrendered. Akhila-lokapānām, all rulers of the entire universe. Avasthitānām, situated in. anuśāsane, under the control of sway, own self, arthāya, for the interest of jātasya, of the born, yaduṣv, in the family of the Yadus, ajasya, of the unborn, vārtāṁ, topics, sakhe, O my friend, kīrtaya, please narrate, tīrtha-kīrteḥ, of the Lord, whose glories are chanted in the places of pilgrimage. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. O my friend, please therefore chant the glories of the Lord, who is meant to be glorified in the places of pilgrimage. He is unborn, and yet He appears by His causeless mercy upon the surrendered rulers of all parts of the universe. Only for their interest did He appear in the family of His unalloyed devotees, the Yadus. Purport: there are innumerable rulers all over the universe in different varieties of planets. The sun god in the sun planet, the moon god in the moon planet, Indra in the heavenly planet, Vayu, Varun, and those in the Brahmaloka planet where Lord Brahma is living. All are obedient servants of the Lord. Whenever there is any disturbance in the administration of the innumerable planets in different universes, the rulers pray for an appearance and the Lord appears. The Bhagavatam 1.3.28 has already confirmed this in the following verse. Ete chams kalha pumsa krishnastu bhagwan swayam indrari vyakulam lokam mridayanti yuge yuge. In every millennium, whenever there is any trouble for the obedient rulers, the Lord appears. He also appears for the sake of His pure, unalloyed devotees. The surrendered rulers and the pure devotees are always strictly under the control of the Lord, and they are never disobedient to the desires of the Lord. The Lord is therefore always attentive to them. The purpose of pilgrimage is to remember the Lord constantly, and therefore the Lord is known as tīrtha-kīrteḥ. The purpose of going to a place of pilgrimage is to get the chance to glorify the Lord. Even today, although times have changed, there are still pilgrimage sites in India. For example, in Mathura and Vrindavan, where we had a chance to stay, people are awake from early in the morning at 4 a.m. up until night time and are constantly engaged, some way or other, in chanting the holy glories of the Lord. The beauty of such a pilgrimage site is that automatically one remembers the holy glories of the Lord. His name, fame, quality, form, pastimes, and entourage are all identical to the Lord, and therefore chanting the glories of the Lord invokes the personal presence of the Lord. Anytime or anywhere pure devotees meet and chant the glories of the Lord is present without any doubt. It is said by the Lord Himself that He always stays where His pure devotees chant His glories. Thus end the Bhaktivedanta purpose of the third canto, first chapter of Srimad Bhagavatam, entitled Questions by Vidura. Hare Krishna, dear devotees, please join us to recite Srila Prabhupada Pranati, and we will seek blessings from the Acharyas. Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swami Niti Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Pashatya Deshatarine Om Ajnana Timirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha Mukam karoti vachalam pangum langhayate girim yat kripa tadaham vande Shri Gurum dina tarinam. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, dear devotees.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. So you can now unshare.
Okay.
That's okay. So today, this verse, actually, the verse 44 that Parikshit Prabhu covered last time, as well as this verse, these two verses are directly relating to Lord Krishna. And these questions are very important. And let's do some recap as what we have discussed so far. And what kind of questions one should be asking, right? And in nutshell, the qualities of our questions determine the quality of our spiritual growth. So that should be the focus when we are looking at, just by hearing someone's question, you can understand what their spiritual growth is. What is Mahatma Vidur? In this particular case, Vidwan Vidur has been referred by the acharyas because he has not yet met Maitreya Muni, because then he becomes fully realized personality. And so he's asking Uddhav in a very simple way, oh my friend. So now pay attention. He is actually uncle of the Pandavas, right? Pandavas are cousins of Lord Krishna. Uddhav is a cousin of Lord Krishna. So in relationship, position-wise, Uddhava is nephew at a distance of Vidura. Yet at the same time, Vidur is calling him out as my dear friend, because in devotees, that connection of friendship, favorable association is there. Anukulyasa sankalpa pratikulyasa vajanam yakshi shatiti vishwasa gopati. Again, we have to look at what is favorable for our devotion service, what is unfavorable. And both of them are constantly meditating on Lord Krishna. Smartavya satatam Vishnu vismartavya na jatuchit sarve vidhi nishedesyo retayore kinkara. Always remember Krishna, never forget Krishna. And all other rules and regulations are subservient to these two principles. And that's why we see, Vidwan Vidur referring to Uddhav, who's actually his nephew position-wise, but on the role of a devotee, he's very dear to Lord Krishna, and Lord Krishna is very dear to Vidur. That's why he's being addressed as, oh, my dear friend. And what is he revealing in his inquiry? Is he asking, how is Krishna? No, he's not asking. He's glorifying Krishna because he has realization of who Krishna is, the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And what is he saying? He's saying, chant the holy glories, right? Kirtan. Kirtan comes from kirti. Kirti means glorification. Kirtan is singing and glorification. And singing about who? Glorifying who? Right? That he is glorifying Lord Krishna, who is glorified in all scriptures. And his topics are spacious, and so they purify the whole universe. Now, when we read, sometimes people have this question that Lord, he appears by his causeless mercy. And in Bhagavad Gita, what are the three reasons we know Lord Krishna appears? My dear devotees, anyone? I'll give you the verse. Paritranaya sadhunam vinashaya cha dushkritam dharma sansthapanāthāya sambhavami yuge yuge.
He appears
Paritranaya sadhunam. Yes, please.
to enthuse the devotees, and vinashaya cha dushkritam, to annihilate the demons, and set the religious principles straight also.
Yes. And who is saying this? This is Krishna saying. Jiva Goswami goes even deeper. He says, this is Vasudev Krishna saying. So there's Krishna in Dwarika as Vasudev Krishna, son of Vasudev. He is speaking that. Well, the original Krishna is in Vrindavan. So in reality, when we look at, Lord is appearing in the dynasty of Yadu. To do these three functions. Does he ever kill anyone? Yes, he has killed so many demons. But it's not Krishna who's killing the demons. It's Vishnu and Krishna who's killing the demons. So Acharyas revealed this to us, that Lord Krishna actually appears for only one reason, to have loving exchanges with his devotees. So in Vrindavan, we see the Gopas, the Gopis, the Vrajvasis. He's having those loving exchanges. And then he comes to Mathura. And then he is continuing to have his loving exchanges there. All the Mathura Vasis, the residents of Mathura, they come out in the gallery just to see Krishna Balaram as they enter the Mathura city. From day one, from very instance, everyone was attracted to them. And Lord is also blessing them, like he blessed, the trailer, the garland maker, and so many. And then we see Lord Krishna, because of the constant attack from Jarasingh on the 18th attempt, before that itself, before the 18th attempt of 18 Akshayanis covering whole of Mathura, Lord was feeling that there is just so much anxiety, so much fear in Mathura, so he moved everyone to Dwarka. And Acharyas, they say that Lord Krishna is perfect in Dwarka, more perfect in Mathura, and most perfect in Vrindavan. My dear devotees, we have to understand that this is the language of love. Because let's look at the activities of Lord Krishna. In Dwarka, he is as a Dwarkadhish. Now, we have to also understand that the king of Dwarka is actually Ugrasen. And then comes Vasudeva under him, and then comes Krishna. So he's on the third tier. Yet at the same time, he is still the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And over there, somebody would say, wait a minute, if he's perfect in Dwarka, he has 16,108 queens. And he's got 10 sons and a daughter from each of these queens. And each of those daughters and sons, they have, 10 sons each. So just the family of Lord Krishna, immediate family and little extended family, is in millions of people. So it appears that in Yadu dynasty, the biggest family is that of Krishna. In reality, the biggest family is that of Krishna because we are all part of his family. And Lord comes to have loving exchanges with his devotees. And so is Uddhav, who is actually the son of, again, the disciple of Brihaspati, the spiritual master of the demigods. So when these questions have been asked, they have been asked in that mood of love. Why is the mood of love different than the mood of lust? Because mood of lust is based on position. And when acharyas say that Lord Krishna is perfect in Dwarka, and somebody could question 16,108 queens, and then on top of that, he actually does all kind of activities, right? He breaks all religious principles just to save his devotees. Are you saying that is perfect? And more perfect in Mathura? He's known as Ranchod in Mathura. He ran away from the battlefield. For the washerman of Kamsa, who just refused to give him cloth, Lord Krishna with his hand, the swipe of his hand, he cut off his neck. Is that the suitable punishment? How could that be more perfect? And most perfect. How could Krishna be most perfect when he was known as a butter thief? When Mother Yashoda would catch him, he would say, Maiya Mori, main nahi makhan khaya. I have not eaten any butter. And he would do all kind of activities, as we see, like in Damodar Leela. What is Lord Krishna doing? Is he getting punished by his mother? He's being bound by his mother in a way so that he doesn't create any more mischief. And Lord Krishna, he is constantly engaged in his amorous pastimes. Parkiya ras, which is abominable in this material world. He's doing all those activities and he's most perfect. Because Lord Krishna is doing it to please his devotees. He's not doing it for his sense gratification. He's doing it to give pleasure to his devotees. That is the focus. That's the language of love. Love is based on giving. Lust is based on taking. Big difference between the two. And so when the questions have been asked, these questions, let's dive further deeper. Sometimes we will even question, how could Lord Krishna, who is said to be, Ete chams kala pumsa, Krishnastu Bhagwan Swayam. Srila Prabhupada referred to this verse. Indrare vakulam lokam hridayanti yuge yuge. So, in the third chapter of first canto, various incarnations of Lord are described. And there, Lord Krishna is identified, described as the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And people from Eastern origin, Vedic tradition, they think that Lord Krishna is the expansion of Lord Vishnu. Because all incarnations happen in this material world through Shirodakshai Vishnu. So yes, Mother Durga, she is the superintendent, and even her boss is Shirodakshai Vishnu, who is allowing various leelas to appear. So again, he is also one of the Purusha avatars, of the three avatars. So again, let's not go too much into technical. Let's stay to the ground. People say he appeared as the son of Vasudeva, as a member of Yadu dynasty, yet he's referred to as Yadupati, so he's the topmost. And yet he is Yadunandan also. So how can somebody be Pati as well as the child? And it appears that he is doing all those 6 activities. He takes birth, he grows, he matures, and then he has sons and daughters, he gets married, and then afterwards he seemed to leave this material world. So it seems like he's just like a common human being. That's the mood of a Mayavadi. We have to be very, very careful that this understanding is from the Mayavad principle. And Srila Prabhupada explains very nicely that in the morning, when we see the sun, just before the sun, there is this lalima. We say, on the horizon, there is some orangish hue that appears. And that itself is the sign that the sun is arising. So Lord Krishna, he appeared like that. And then sun is, at its full power when it's on top of the sky. Very strong when there is no cloud. Again, clouds cover us. Clouds cannot cover sun. There is no cloud on sun. And that may appear like, okay, Krishna, he kills Kamsa. He is in his youthful stage, very strong, very valiant prince. Everyone's looking from that perspective. And then comes, Krishna also killed Shishupal, Dantavakra, Shabya, so many personalities who were very strong at their times. And then finally he leaves his body. That's like the sun setting on the west. So do we also say every morning the sun is born? It goes stronger. It produces various rays, gives light to various planets, and then afterwards it dies on the west horizon? No, we don't, because we have understood. Again, this was the understanding of the West just 500 years back. There was constant debates happening on this topic, but the Vedic literature that we have, Srimad Bhagavatam, literary incarnation of Krishna, actually helps us, reveals to us that, it also gives the clear example of Lord Krishna from true sun perspective. So raise your hand if you think that Lord Krishna is an avatar. I'm the only one raising hand. Okay. Sumita Mataji has raised her hand. Anyone else thinks Lord Krishna is an avatar? Parikshit Prabhu. So at least some people understand that he's an avatar. Now raise your hand if you think Lord Krishna is an avatari. He's the cause of all incarnations. Okay. So again, I see some hands being raised. Yes, so he is avatari and he is also avatar. Just like a king sometimes goes and within his kingdom, he also has a jail. He visits the jail. The superintendent makes sure that his visit is nice. Just because he's in the jail doesn't mean that he has been punished. He has been put in the same state as a prisoner. Which reminds me of a nice incident of his guest Gauranga Prabhu. Once he had gone to preaching to a jail in Mumbai, and somebody called, said, "May I talk to Gauranga Prabhu?" And the brahmachari, who was very innocent, brahmacharis are very innocent and simple by nature. He said, "Oh, Gauranga Prabhu, he has gone to jail." Everyone was shocked on the other side of the phone. Wait a minute, what did he do? Sometimes there's a tendency to just jump to the conclusion. And he said, no, no, no. Suddenly the brahmachari realized what did he say. He said, he has gone to preach at the jail, to bless. And this is where Narottam Das Thakur also sings about Nityananda Prabhu, that if Nityananda Prabhu is found at a wine place where they are serving wine and, intoxicants, he would understand that Lord Krishna has not gone there to enjoy those intoxicants, but rather he has gone there to preach Krishna consciousness. And that's the mood of a devotee. But sometimes there is similar thinking that people are thinking that, okay, somebody has gone at the place of material consciousness. Well, we are in this material world. And what's the nature of this material world? Dukkhalayam shashvatam. Yet in the mood, as we see, of the questions that are being asked, that is also very important. That these questions are very important. And the kind of conclusions that are being drawn from these questions is also very important. So sometimes children ask, what is this? Why does this happen? Why is sky blue? And the parents get confused. They say, yes, the sky is blue. And then when they grow up, one of the questions that parents want them to understand is, how do I succeed? They start asking this kind of question. How do I make more money? Because they see their parents working hard, so they think that that's the way to work and make more money to establish themselves. And then they say, even if we're doing this, the old age, as the parents grow old, they see that there is suffering in there. So they think that, how do I avoid these sufferings? Or how do I avoid death? And how do I avoid all kind of issues that come? I try to avoid the word problem because issue is a better word. There is isha in it. But spiritual growth begins when our questions, they evolve, right? Instead of asking, what can I get? What is the ultimate truth? What can I give? That should be the mood. And how can I become equipped so that I can share this treasure with others? And so finally, one has to ask this question constantly, that we ask ourselves, that how can I deepen my relationship with the Supreme, Sambandha? Jivera Surupaya Krishna Nityadas. We as living entities are eternal servant of Krishna. So we know the relationship, but knowing the relationship is just the beginning. We have to establish that relationship. We have to bring that closeness, as we see in the conversation between Vidur and Uddhav. Now, the very beginning of Bhagavatam reveals this high level of consciousness. Parikshit Maharaj, what did he ask? He asked the sages, first he welcomed the sages, and then he asked, what is the duty of a person? And what's the specific duty, dharma, of a person who is about to die? And then Shukdev Goswami responded to him, Tasmad Bharat Sarvatma Bhagwan Ishvara Hari Shrotavya Kirtitavyesha Sumatavesha Chechathambhyam. So the duty of a person is, I'm paraphrasing the translation, is basically to Shrotavya, to hear, Kirtitavyasa, to chant, and Smartavesha, remembering the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Now, it's very interesting to know that, okay, that's the recipe. This is how you make it. But how do you really go about it? Because sometimes some elements are missing. Just by hearing, well, the mantra on its own is complete, provided we understand how to apply it. And that is revealed later on. Save pumsam parodharmo yato bhakti radhokshaje ahetuki apratihata yayatma suprasiddhati. That the devotional service should be performed ahetuki, without any motivation. It should be performed for the pleasure of Lord Krishna. And apratihata refers to be constantly, regularly. So in reality, we should always glorify the Lord. We hear His name, we remember Him with full devotion for His pleasure, begging for His mercy. Yes, that is allowed. And that's why we chant the holy name. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. And from there, we see the sages at Namasharanya asking the 6 questions around the same topic in the beginning of Bhagavatam. Then we see similar conversations happening so many times with great personalities. And finally, here we are saying Maitreya and Uddhav, they are meeting. And what is Vidura? He's sharing his realization. He knows who Krishna is, right? He's not asking then who will become king, or how do we become wealthy. He's not asking those kind of questions. How do we defeat our enemies? No, those are not the questions. He's asking, He's actually sharing his realization that what is the true benefit of all living entities. So this message of constantly hearing, chanting, and remembering Krishna has been repeated again and again in Srimad Bhagavatam to deepen us. Now, why is something repeated so many times in Bhagavatam? It is to keep reminding us, because we are forgetful soul. In this Kali age, what is the nature of this age? Prayana alpayusha sabhya kalavasmin yogejana manda samanda matyo manda bhagya pradita. So, alpayu. First, we have short lives. Kalavasmin yogejana. We are quarrelsome by nature. Manda. So again, we are lazy. Sumanda matyo. Very less intelligent. Manda is less, Sumanda is very less. Matyo is intelligence. Manda bhagya. And we are unlucky. Here, upraduta, and we're constantly disturbed. Why are we unlucky in this material world, the influence of this Kali age? Because we are surrounded by so many distractions and distracted from distractions by more distractions that we are not able to take to the chanting of the holy name. Now, even the time when we go, so again, this is the nature why repetition is important. Which reminds me, last Saturday we were at New York Rath Yatra. And during the Rath Yatra, there's so many stories about it. There is a specific, that actually now there are 3 offices, 3 police station units that are assigned to provide the support. And there's been a police officer in the past, this is what it's a hearsay. His dad was also serving, who was actually supporting Rath Yatra, and now he's also serving and supporting, very much engaged in managing proper traffic control and so forth for Rath Yatra. And they had a common question. They asked one time, they asked a devotee, don't you have any other song? All of you are constantly singing the same song. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. The devotee was very intelligent. He said, have you ever paid attention that we sing the same song in hundreds of melodies? So the song is so good that you can have unlimited melodies and it will become even more interesting. And they kind of nodded their head, yeah, that is true. Not the wobble like we do. They say, yeah, that is true. And that is the sweetness. Now, my dear devotees, I do want to reveal something, that why is this constantly being asked? To remove the material consciousness, because Krishna consciousness is just opposite of material consciousness. Person in material world is the one who is living in material consciousness. And what do they experience? Dukkhalayam ashashvatam. They're constantly experiencing miseries and impermanence. While those who are in Krishna consciousness are not in this material world. They are in spiritual world. Because it's all about our consciousness. And when we are in the spiritual world, we are constantly meditating on Lord Krishna, who is Satchidanand. He is the eternal, so there's no impermanence. So anything related to him is eternal. And Chit is like, he is all knowledge. So we are in complete awareness of the personality who is all knowledgeable, means he is all aware. And so he knows our state, and Anand. He is full with bliss. So the devotees are full with bliss because they are in direct association with Krishna. So in Krishna consciousness, that's the boon we have, right? And let's look at the inquiry of Vidur in this chapter. He asked many questions. He asked about the Pandavas. He asked about Vasudev, Krishna's father, Devaki Vasudev. And then he asked about Balram, Adi Guru, the elder brother of Lord Krishna. He talked about many members of Yadu dynasty, like Yudhan, and many of them. And then many devotees connected with Lord Krishna. So these are not ordinary inquiries. Why? Because devotees naturally become interested in those who are connected with God. And this is just when we love someone, right? We become interested in their family, their friends, their activities. And so this is showing an expansion of love, So yes, Lord Krishna is Karuna Sindhu. He is the ocean of mercy. Lord Chaitanya is even greater. His prema sindhu. He is the ocean of love. And what did he tell us? He gave us only 8 verses. And what are those 8 verses telling us again and again? That we have to chant the holy name. Now, my dear devotees, in Bhagavad Gita also, Lord Krishna says, Yajnanam japo asmi. He is saying of all the sacrifices, the greatest sacrifice is the chanting of the holy name. So, chanting of the holy name is a common theme across all 4 ages. And finally, in the 12th canto, as we'll see, Shukdev Goswami reveals the nature of this Kali age. Kalera dosh nidhe rajanasti ek mahan guna kirtana deva krishnasya mukta sangha param vajit. That there are this Kali age is dosh nidhe. It's a nidhe refers to ocean. So dosh nidhe means ocean of faults. Asthya ek mahan guna, but it has one great quality. Kirtana deva krishnasya. But just by chanting the holy name of the Lord, mukta sangha, we can drop all this association, all these bindings of this material world. That's hidayanti, right? Chindanti. That gets shattered. This binding force of this material universe, it gives away. And param vrajat, and we attain the supreme abode. So here, this is the climax of his question, the 44th and 45th verse in this chapter, right? Something remarkable is happening in these verses. After dozens of inquiries, he reaches these 2 verses, and rather than merely asking for information about Krishna, he is actually revealing his realization. He says in essence that please speak about Krishna. The topic about him are all auspicious because it is delivering us from all miseries of this material world. So he is no more collecting information from Uddhav. He is asking for Krishna Katha, because he is seeking transformation of the heart. And this is the whole movement. Arjun was a warrior, a Kshatriya, before the Kurukshetra battle started. Before Bhagavad Gita was spoken to him, and after Bhagavad Gita, he stayed a Kshatriya, he stayed a householder, he stayed, the younger brother of Yudhishthira, but his heart had transformed. And this transformation is the goal of life, right? So material questions, they're generally driven by 1 or 4 motives. I'm just trying to categorize them. Sometimes people are focused on profit, then they're focused on pressure, then they're focused on prestige, and then finally protection, right? So eat, sleep, mate, defend, another way of saying that. So how can we earn more so that we can get things to eat better? And then, of course, things related to sense gratification come in. How can I look better? How can I get ahead of others? How can I avoid various issues in this life, right? So these questions are not wrong, but they are on material consciousness. That's the only difference. And they are focusing on the body, right? How do I maintain this body as long as possible? But the spiritual questions are, who am I, right? Why do we suffer? Now, what's the purpose of this life? Why are we here? And what's my relationship with the divine? Sometimes people don't even realize the divine. But then, atato brahma jigyasa, that initial inquiry is still lingering on their mind. And finally, when we come to understand who divine is, Lord Krishna, then how can I serve becomes the goal of life, right? So human life is meant for inquiry into the absolute truth. And just like sun seems to change its phases, Lord Krishna may appear to have taken birth, but in reality, he is unborn, he is absolute. And it doesn't even change. Sometimes people get confused when we say it doesn't even change. They say, but he was a child, then he grew to be a youth, then he grew to be a grahastha, and then he seems to be a grandfather of millions of children. So these questions by Vidura is helping us go deeper into these inquiries. We should be asking that how could it be possible? And not just in asking and feeling, oh, I asked such a great question, understanding that we are minuscule. And with that, I would like to Handed back to you, Prakshit Prabhu. So again, Gantra Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Nand Kori Vaishnavind ki jai.
Thank you very much for a wonderful class. Really flowing with so many ideas, so many points, reminder about our spiritual life, what's priority, what's important, and how the Lord relates to, and how the devotees also relate to the Supreme Person, and why. All of that's covered. Thank you very much for a very nice class. Dear devotees, this is the time to unmute yourself. We have questions. There are devotees that they're sending appreciations electronically with this. Hare Krishna. Yeah. So are there any questions or any comments? If you also have any takeaways, please go ahead. Yeah, the appreciations are still coming. Hare Krishna. Jai. But are there any comments though, or any questions for the body? All right. If there are no questions, then Prabhu, thank you very much for coming on today. And I'd also like to thank Ananda Rupa Mataji. I know she's also on listening, and she's given such wonderful classes over the weeks that she's been doing. And now you're on too, so which is wonderful. It's extra boon for us.
Oh, it's
One
blessing to
announcement.
us. Krishna. Thank you.
As you, some of you may already know, there's Rath coming up this Saturday. It's in City Island, Harrisburg. And rather than even give you the address, just because people have cell phones, to just go to GPS or Google Maps and put it in City Island, and they'll bring you here. And I actually suggest that you do that this time only because in Harrisburg on that day, some of the major streets will be closed because there's be other functions called Juneteenth for African Americans that would also be happening. Not at the place that will be, but it was also there in downtown, and some streets I know will be closed. So let Google guide you as to the detours that you need to take to get to City Island. That's why I'm putting it like that. Hare Krishna. Thank you again. Have a wonderful week, and we'll see you Saturday.
Yes,
And
see you
of course,
Saturday.
before
Krishna.
then,
Yes,
yeah,
yes.
before then you can always come to class.
Hare Krishna.
Vanchakalpatarubhyasya
Vanchakalpatarubhyasya
Vipasunive evacha patitanam
Tīrtha-kīrteḥ
pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. Srila Prabhupada ki jai.
Nand Kori Vaishnavind ki jai.
Ki
Hare Krishna.
jai. Hare Krishna. Glories to the Prabhupada.